I can't believe it's happened. I'm here again. I was winning, I was up, and I've lost it all. I've came home with absolutely nothing again. I hate gambling. I never want to put myself in this position again. I can't believe I've done it. I'm never doing it again. 1 week later, I'm all excited to go to the casino again, convinced that my outcome will be different, and it's just rinse and repeat, the exact same outcome again. Does this sound familiar? Right, I want to tell you about something my gambling counselor taught me, the mental exercise that changed absolutely everything for me and helped me start my recovery journey. But first, let me give you an example that you can relate to. Hello everybody, my name's Daniel. Welcome to Addicted Recovery. Right, so back in 2013, my old work friend was getting married in a place called Wigan, about 45 minutes outside of Liverpool. I was due to go to court a couple of months later for careless driving and a drink drive charge that I had from late 2012. So I still had my license until that court date. However, I didn't have a car because my car was writ off in that incident. So a friend borrowed me his car for me to be able to drive to this wedding. So I head to the wedding, borrow my friend's car, pull up at my hotel, check into the hotel, everything's set. I'm going to be heading to the wedding, coming back to the hotel afterwards, and then meeting up with everyone from the wedding party the next day for breakfast. I'm so excited to meet up with all my old work friends, people I haven't seen for years at this point. So I'm checked in the hotel, I get all dressed up, and off to the wedding we go. A fantastic wedding. I have an amazing time. I enjoyed catching up with all people I hadn't seen for a long time and had a lot of fun. However, as the night is drawing to a close, I try to start convincing everyone, let's go to the casino. Come on, let's head to the casino. Bear in mind, we're a 45-minute drive away from Liverpool, where the casinos are that I'm trying to get people to go to. Nobody ends up taking the bait that I hang out, so we just decide to call it a night. I get a taxi back to my hotel. The urge is so strong to go and gamble that I don't even open my hotel door. I just get straight into the car. I don't even go into the hotel. I get straight into it. Bear in mind, I've been at the wedding all night drinking at a free bar. Bear in mind, this isn't my car. It's a friend's car that they've lent me for the evening. So I don't have any insurance either. And me just trying to fill that urge of gambling, I end up driving to New Brighton Casino because I can't actually get into any of the casinos in Liverpool because I'm self-excluded from all three of them at this point. So I drive to New Brighton where the casino was instead. My memory of that drive back was almost missing my turn-off and last minute realizing that was supposed to be my turn-off, swerving to the left to make it. And I actually went across the grass verge to make that turn-off. And I remember thinking as I'm driving up the off-ramp, oh, wow, that was lucky. And just sort of like looking back on it, I'm like, that is mental. Just the depths I went to, that my gambling addiction, so the things that my gambling addiction led me to do just to fill that urge is just, it's just so embarrassing looking back on it. It makes me cringe thinking about it. So anyway, somehow, some angels looking over me that night, I make it to the casino. And I don't actually remember the gambling part of it. However, what I do remember is cashing in. I remember thinking, wow, this is it. I had £5,000 in chips and I was like, this is just the best night ever. I've had so much fun at the wedding. I've got away with what I've got away with to make it here to the casino. And now I've got £5,000. I go and cash out my chips. I remember my blazer jacket from the wedding. I actually put the £5,000 in my inside pocket and I'm walking out. I am walking out of there, £5,000 in my pocket. I have had the best night ever. An amazing time at the wedding, caught up with old friends, and now I've got all this money in my pocket. On the way out, I just happened to glance at one of the screens on one of the roulette tables. And I always had this thing where whenever there was a zero coming, depending on what the number was before the zero, it would always be a certain number or a certain colour that I'd bet on after that zero. And a zero had just popped up. And I thought, you know what, my luck's in tonight. I'll just give it a little try anyway. I'll follow the pattern that I normally I'll follow the pattern that I normally do. So I pull some money out of my pocket and place it down and place the bet. 20 to 25 minutes later, the whole £5,000 is gone. Everything is gone. I'm in this situation again where I was this close. I was this close to my plan coming together. I was going to leave there £5,000. I was going to drive back to my hotel, check into my hotel. No one would even know. I'd got away with everything. And yet here I am again, just unable to stop, unable to quit when I'm ahead. I've lost everything, and I just remember the regret, the anger. I didn't even go back to the hotel. I just went home and slept it off. I remember just that resentment, that instant regret. As soon as I found myself in that situation again, I'm like, never again. That's it. This is the last time. I promised my sister I'd never drink drive again after what happened. I've drunk drove. I've nearly writ off a friend's car that they've given me. I've nearly killed myself. I've been driving drunk with no insurance. I'm like, you think that would be enough to stop someone there and then? I've lost all my money on top of that. I've got nothing to show for it. I had all these winnings and they're all gone. That was 2013. My last bet date was 2021. So there was 8 more years of misery and pain and stories like this and embarrassing, appalling things that I did that my addiction let me do. And yeah. So obviously I went back to gamble a lot more times after that incident. It's just when you get those wins, your brain releases dopamine, and just that surge of dopamine into your reward pathways, it just overrides any negative thoughts. Your brain is wired to remember rewards over punishment. And that's what just kept me going back to my addiction over and over again. Just convinced, like the next time after that, I was just like, you know what? I had the £5,000 in my pocket. All I have to do is leave at that point. Instead of getting pulled back into the roulette table and doing that one bet that led to my downfall, next time I'll just leave. Like as though it was all planned out. That I actually had some strategy along the roulette table. It wasn't just pure randomness and pure luck that got me those money. It was actually my skill level. That's the things that my addiction led me to believe. Right. So those big wins, not even a big win, a near miss. So the ball just missing by 1 on the roulette table, or your slot machine, your last reel misses by 1. They release dopamine into your brain, and that surge of dopamine creates a powerful memory in your reward system, which overshadows the negatives. So like a big loss will create instant regret, but your brain is primed to remember those dopamine fueled highs far easier than the negatives. So those negative memories are just so much less influential next time a craving or an urge comes, and you'll likely go back to gambling because you want to get those dopamine surges again. They're the things that your brain remembers. They're the things that your brain's telling you are what's going to happen when you go back and gamble. When in reality, we all know it's going to end the same way. How do we start to give those negative memories a bit more of a push, a bit more of a workout, and get them a bit stronger? So the thing my gambling counsellor taught me was called a regret remembering journal. Basically, I'm writing down all those negative memories. If I've been unfortunate enough to just have a binge, then I'd be writing them there and then, straight after that binge, straight after that relapse, because that's when it's fresh. That's when it's the most painful. That's when I'll be able to get most of the stuff out on paper. Like now I've got no money. Like for that example I gave earlier, it would be no money, almost killing myself, could have hurt others on the road, could have writ off a friend's car, that damaged trust with my friends, with my loved ones. I missed out on going to the breakfast the next day with all my work friends and catching up and having a laugh about how good the wedding was. So all those negatives, I'd write them down in this journal that I'm calling the regret remembering journal. The following day, not the next, I wouldn't wait for a relapse or wait for another binge. The following day, and the very next day, I'd think of another example and I'd write down 5 negative things about that. I had no money left. I lost trust with loved ones. I couldn't do this activity. Not only did gambling take away my freedom because I was busy gambling instead of doing things I actually should have been doing or wanted to do, after the gambling, I've now got no money to do the things I want to do or do the things I should be doing anyway. So it takes away my freedom both ways. And that is helping the negatives. That's giving them a bit more strength. Next time a craving comes, next time an urge comes, I can access those negative thoughts. It can overpower those dopamine surge memories that I've got, the reward memories. I can remember the punishment that gambling gives me, that the negatives that are going to happen and how shit I'm going to feel if I go back and do this again.
The opposite to addiction isn't sobriety, it's connection. If you want to stop gambling, there is a whole community right here who've been where you are and want what you want. So if you want to stop gambling, you want to stay stopped, and you want to connect, hit that subscribe button and welcome to the Addicted Recovery community.